Hello everyone. Hello. I'm so glad to see you. Welcome to another reading. This one will be a little bit different. I wanted to experiment with some other elements of divining and magic with a CK. You don't necessarily have to subscribe to those things to take something away from this, hopefully. But anyways, I wanted to look at what we might be hiding from. What are we hiding from ourselves? The stuff that's packed down in there, we've got to face it to like feel it and be done with it, hopefully. Life is cyclical. Sometimes it's like when we come back around to the same lesson, it's like because we're going deeper into it and we don't want to. Imagine that. We're human and we don't want to. What? So, here's the other thing. Here's a little science. Our brains will solve the easier problem first. So if there's something easier to solve, your brain will do that first. What we want to look for is the harder problem. The problem that we're like, no, don't touch that one. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're going to look at what we're hiding from. The setup will just be my hands. We're just going to focus on the cards, but I of course wanted to say hi and remind you to get your water and your tea. This is my coffee from this morning. It's cold. And what we'll be doing today with these candles that you pick, once we kind of distill down whatever's being jammed in there, we're gonna make a sigil. I'll explain more once we get into the video, but we're gonna carve the sigil into the candle. And the sigil it's a symbol that will represent a phrase, a mantra that could help you. And as soon as the candle has burned is when the sigil is activated, the magic is activated. Like for example, I am healthy would be one maybe, and we would construct the sigil, which I'll show us how to do. Carve it into the candle and burn the candle. And I will be burning these candles for you once the sigils are carved. And this is a timeless reading, so know that even by the time this finds you, the candle has been burned and the magic is accessible to you. The love is around you, it's accessible to you, which is so exciting. Okay, that's all I've got, I think. Is that all I've got? Yeah. I just wanted to say hi. I just wanted to put on some makeup and say hello. Okay, I love you. I'll see you in your reading. Bye. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to your Pick a Candle reading to uncover what you've been hiding from. With zero judgment there. I think, we're all hiding from something in ourselves. Something we don't want to face because it's going to be difficult. And that's very human, and that makes sense. So just a lot of compassion with ourselves today, okay? Guess what? I did impulsively decide to paint my nails in between that intro and doing this, and I just want you to know that I know that it's a mess. So I'm gonna have compassion with myself there. Woo! Anyways, okay, so if you're new to these formats, to these like pick a card readings, what you're gonna do is you're gonna just sit with yourself. I suggest taking a couple of deep breaths, and you can pause this video and think as long as you want to, but just feel is more like it. Feel into your heart space, feel into whatever makes you feel divine, and whichever candle is calling to you. This will be candle 1, this will be candle 2, and this one will be candle 3, and the timestamps will be in the description box below. And like I said, just pause it if you need a little more time, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, group 1. If you're here, you chose this green candle. And let's go ahead and get that sticky tack off just so it won't roll away. We'll set this aside for now until we make our sigil. So, just getting comfy on my cushion. We're using postcards from the liminal space to see what you're hiding from. And we've got rainbow. So let's go ahead and read from the guidebook for what this is about. Just very simple. Rainbow, a sign that the stars are gazing back. Okay, my impulse here is that there might be like a deep sense of existential loneliness happening, a deep questioning of our purpose here, where we are, what we're doing, what it all means, like the really deep, like dark night of the soul doubts, and we're hiding from this divine truth, this like universal expansion of love and peace, at least peace of mind. So let's see, I've got my own oracle deck here that I've been making. It's a work in progress, and I want to see what the sort of what's going on behind why we're hiding from this existential truth. Shuffling on camera. Okay. It's a little bit kooky. Okay. I might take it back. Trust that I'm shuffling for the first time though, okay? Woo! Okay, so why is group 1 hiding from the stars gazing back? We'll use that language. Why is group 1 hiding from the stars gazing back? Ooh, okay, we got 2 cards. We'll take them. Okay, so this card came up. Is it worth repeating? Is it worth repeating? Is it worth repeating? And it's like we can get caught in this like whirligig of feeling like we've been here before, feeling like we've been in a lesson before, like I was saying in the intro, of like this again. And I think we're allowed to ask ourselves, like, do we really want to take that ride again? Do we really want to take that ride where we know the answer? And so do you really want to take this ride of like this doubt when maybe the answer is within you? Because guess what? It's just weird and it's okay. This is the other card that came up. It's just weird and it's okay. Things might feel really funky right now, and maybe we can just be in it. I don't know. I want to get some more answers here. We're going to bust out our tarot deck now. Okay, I'm going to grab a drink of water too. Also, I'm not sure if that's Senta. It's hard to tell. Fun fact that I do this all on my phone, which I'm pretty proud of. But there are some difficulties with it. Okay, so we're going to be using the Way Home Tarot. The Cara Wintner is behind both of these decks that we're using today, and I'm of course behind this one. I'm just really proud of it. It's very sweet to me. Okay. Yeah, find the sweet things, I guess. That's, whoa, too many. One card at a time, please, Spirit. What? Let's see. What's group 1 hiding from? Let's get a little more information about that. What is group 1 hiding from? Because existential crisis is kind of big and fast, and that might not be specific enough to you. Okay, let's see. 2 jumped out, but I would really like 1 at a time. 1 at a time. Please, Spirit, we're listening. For all of those who picked group 1, what are they hiding from? What's going on? Okay, you know what? These are the cards that want to come out, and there are 7 of them. But let's take it. I believe in us. Okay. Oh, my mistake. There are 8. There are 8 cards here, but let's friggin' do it. Okay. We've got 4 of Cups reversed coming up. The Empress. The Star. The Hierophant. Mother of Cups. Let's put her right there. I'm sure this is all jumbly bumbly. Excuse me. Oop. 10 of Swords. 6 of Swords. And the Universe. So let's go ahead and put the Universe up here with, just taking it, trying to keep it symmetrical, but I honestly can't even tell because of the way the phone has to be held in this little tripod I have. So we're just doing our best. Okay, my friends. 6 of Swords has personally been stalking me as well. I have felt personally bullied by 6 of Swords. But I think it's really deepened the way I'm working with it currently. And you might be working with it in a different way, and that's great. Okay. Let's start over here with the 4 of Cups reversed. There's maybe some opportunities that have come around. Speaking of like things coming around and around, like, is it worth repeating? Like, ask yourself, is it? Do you want to take that 4th cup that's being offered to you? Because you don't have to. You can. You don't have to. The important thing in the 4 of Cups is the choice. You have a choice. Do you want to take it or not? And it's like, if your choice to take it is coming from a place of scarcity, that's a pretty good indicator that it's maybe not motivated by truth or love or what your soul really wants. Because like, I think you're getting in touch with what your soul really wants. And so maybe it's like this rainbow thing, like the stars are smiling back. The universe is smiling back and loving you back, and you can receive that love. And I think you know you can, because I think you've spent time in rest and repose and like reconsideration of like how to proceed. You're not trusting like false information, gatekeeping institutions. You're turning this Hierophant on its head, and you're like, I am my own Hierophant. We are our own Hierophants. We are here to save us. And the cool friggin' thing about this card is like thinking of all of us as Hierophants and organizing. Like, mushrooms communicate with each other. Like, their root systems are how they communicate with each other. And not keeping information exclusive, making information accessible to everyone is so crucial. And I think it's, you know, like just riffing here, it's like, it's why I think like higher education will be completely different in 50 years, because there shouldn't be a price on education. There really shouldn't. And so you're like, oh, there's like some upheaval. You're like fucking shit up. I respect it. And it's from the most, like, God, it's from a place of integrity. It is from a place of integrity. Because you're not jumping at things that you know aren't worth repeating. Like, you've learned the lesson. You've learned the lesson. This is a little wink and a nod. Don't hide from the lesson you learned. Incorporate it. You've learned this beautiful cycle. Incorporate it now. Don't hide from it. Because Mother of Cups, you know, I think the queens are strategy. It's when we move into strategy mode. And Mother of Cups energy absolutely knows how to use their vast well of feeling. There's been, you know, an acceptance of the like glory and suffering of the world in the page. In the night, it's like I'm filled with all of this emotion, but I still have to move in the world. And the Mother of Cups energy is like, okay, we've got these two really strong components of working with ourselves and our hearts at the service of others. So how am I going to sustain that? This is like their little sustaining vessel. There's a vessel in us that must be filled before we can fill anybody else's vessel. So the strategy to sustain all of this beautiful work comes down to this energy, this Mother of Cups energy, Queen of Cups energy. We could call it strategy of cups if we want to. The strategy of cups. It's making a plan to move in the world, because we can go back in and come back out. You know, there's like this beautiful horizon here where it's like they can go back in, they can come back out. We can go back in, we can come back out in this cycle, and it requires a cycle. We can really wear ourselves out if we're just moving and not pacing ourselves. You know, if we're just grabbing at cups, we'll really wear ourselves out, run ourselves in this little circle of like, wait, I'm back here, I'm back here, I'm back here again. And the Mother of Cups keeps track of that. You know, they're not giving themselves like a harsh deadline, but they are keeping track of that. They're tracking like, oh, it's time for repose. And the Empress can really support you there in that. The Empress receives this like wink, nod, love from the universe to support. I think you really do know how to support yourself, because you've learned what doesn't work. I mean, look at this. Look at this card. 10 of Swords. You've learned what absolutely will not work anymore. You've learned what is absolutely unsustainable for yourself. And the fact that there are still things that feel not in alignment with that doesn't mean you did anything wrong. Sometimes it just feels weird for a little bit. And so this trust in the existential crisis that we all face, it's part of the cycle, and it will wrap up, and then another cycle will begin again. And this one, I think you have wrapped up, and it's that weird, funky place where it's like it's closing and it's opening again. It's closing and it's opening again. Go in and out, in and out. It's closing and it's opening again. And what we do know that we can take with us and will be okay with is our Six of Swords. Our Six of Swords is like, I use this analogy a lot for whenever this card comes up because it's really what is stuck with me right now. In the Six of Swords, we are taking it with us, right? It's not quite the alchemy of like temperance, where it's like we know we're in co-creation with something, we're alchemizing our past self, our present self, our future self. I think it's a lot simpler than that, and it's that like there has been pain, and there has been grief, and still we grow on. And it's not because it never happened. It's not because we're like, oh, that never happened. We never lose these swords. We never really lose these swords. But we do keep growing. And we keep opening and flowering. And I want to say like it's like it can all come with us, but it's not because we're wearing it on our back. It's not because it's like so painful and we can't remove the swords from the wounds that they were in. But it's that when they come with us, we can look at them and just say, oh, yeah, I see when that was painful. I see when that was I see that I'm being triggered. I see that I am having a trauma response. And it's okay. It's okay. You know, we're so human. We're all human. We all are doing our best. It doesn't, life is strange, and it is strange to think that there's like, I don't know, that there's anybody looking out. And like whatever your belief system is, maybe it's not one that includes like quote unquote someone looking out. I'm not here to tell you what to believe, but I think above all you can trust in cycles here, which is so simple and so difficult to keep with us. And maybe that is sort of what the Six of Swords is too. It's like, well, this pain has happened and I keep growing, I keep going, and I know that it's not like pain will never ever touch me ever again. I know that I can withstand the pain, not in a way of like romanticizing it or being like, go ahead and hurt me, come at me, universe. It's just in a way where you're like, I know I live past this. I've read to the end, and I know I lived through this one. You've lived through a lot at this point, and I might feel like, oh, is anything else gonna happen? I mean, I can't answer everything, but the fact that it feels weird is just okay right now. Maybe not a clear and concise answer, but let's look at our self-love oracle. Here, we'll clear these up here. Maybe we'll just like put them all around. Why not? They're pretty, they're beautiful. I just have no idea if anything is actually centered. It's really hard to tell. The technical aspects of doing this are very tricky. They're trickier than I thought. Okay, that seems decent. Please forgive me. Okay, so we're gonna get our self-love oracle to hopefully give us a mantra for your sigil. Let's take a look. Okay, group one. Group one spirit, what can help them here? What can help them here? What can help out and support group one? One card, please. Did we get two? Two jumped out, but I trust it. You know what I mean? Okay. We've got you are safe. And remember your spark. So this one says, protection is always available to you. You have all the resources that you need, both within you and around you. And this one says, you are here for a purpose. Remember it or define it for yourself. Remember your spark and you are safe. Okay, so I'm gonna try to think of a mantra for us. And this does not mean that you have to use this. Like I said, the sigil will be burned and accessible to you, but that doesn't mean you have to tap into that energy. I'm reaching for pen and a notepad. I didn't grab that before I began. Okay, so I'm thinking that, just sitting back down here. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I'm having some thoughts. Looking in the guidebook for just some ideas, but I think okay, I took a little beat there to dig out the guidebook just because I think these messages need to be heard. Okay, so you are safe. We can see our life in a new way. There's no need to fear the macabre, the morbid, or the unknown. Fear arises when we're afraid of losing something to which we're attached. We often forget that we came into this world with, well, nothing but our skeleton, spirit, and meat suit. All these were gifted to us. The physical body and its capacity for pain will continue to teach us much about self-care and the sensations of our physical existence. That is why our body is a gift. It is natural to be attached to it and to be identified with our body, but it is also useful to remember that we are never given any challenges that we cannot handle. We can also choose to remember to visualize or invoke energetic protection. If you are feeling insecure about your physical or emotional safety, visualize a protective energy bubble around you, or that you're being protected by your spirit guides, guardian angels, or other protective beings. Alternatively, you can ask or simply visualize that you are invisible to those who would do you harm. After your visualization or request, have faith that you are protected. Decide that you are worthy of protection and living in safety. And living in safety, and let your energy and actions flow naturally from there. Okay, and now we're going to go to remember your spark, which is number 1. Remember your spark. This is a card for going back to the start. Either we feel like we are starting from scratch, wow, or we need to begin again because of recent setbacks. Beginnings are magical for all their new potential. Untarnished by illusory limits and the expectations of others. I lost my spot. Oh my gosh. Untarnished by illusory limits and the expectations of others, beginnings are moments for setting our clear intentions and making sure they are aligned with our hearts. Ooh, this is so spot on. Any new journey will ultimately be for our growth, bringing us closer to the highest power that we believe in. Start your journey with the spirit of excitement, love, and trust. It is important to realize that the road ahead cannot be a failure unless we refuse to learn from it. Do what you feel you came to do, even if it's not clear just yet. Your first step is simply to allow yourself to begin. All that matters is that you keep putting one foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other, that is. Okay, so. I think what's coming to mind, group 1, is it is safe to proceed. So let's go ahead and write that down. I'm writing it right now. Okay. It is safe to proceed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take out all of the vowels. This is how you make a sigil. Okay, so now we've got T, S. And now what you do is you don't take any repeat letters. So we've already got S, we've already got T. We're going to take P, we're going to take R, we're going to take C, we're going to take D. Look at that handwriting. Okay, I'm going to take it off camera for a second to just kind of like let my subconscious swirl and see what we come up with. Cute. She's cute. I like it. Okay, so now let's grab your candle. Okay, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to do this on camera. So we're gonna carve it. Okay, so we're gonna take a little, we've just got a little pin here. Made it a little bit tiny there. Let's see. Okay, it doesn't look quite the same, but trust me that it's all there. Okay, so I will burn this, and I want you to know that it is safe to proceed. This cycle that you've been through before, it, you know, like this one said, the remember your spark, like it's the beginning is like, yeah, it's like we feel like we're starting from scratch, but it's still a new journey, and it's going to be for your growth. And even if it feels like you've been here before, it's new. It's going to be new. It has to be new. You aren't going backwards, I promise. You aren't going backwards, I promise you. You've learned a lot, and it is safe to proceed, and you've done so much wise, good work, and you can trust yourself, okay? All right, I love you, and I will be burning this for you. Cheers, my little BBs. Hello, group 2. If you're here, it's because you chose this purple candle. So let's go ahead and see what it is that you're hiding from yourself. And you know, it's like, it's like I said, we're using a lot of self-compassion here. And we're going to be using the postcards from the liminal space. Is this better? This lighting doesn't seem great, but it's the lighting we've got. So take that there. We'll come back to put our sigil on this at the end. You'll see. Okay, sweet baby babes. Let's see. Let me get this lighting down. Let's see what it is that, there we go, that's better, that you are hiding from. Okay, so we've got Come Back Down to Earth, and we're gonna get the guidebook for Postcards from the Liminal Space. I'm gonna read a little bit more about what this is. I'm sure you've got ideas going in your head, as do I. But here's the description in the book by the creators. Come back down to earth. With infinite access to the cloud and limited human consciousness, energetic overdoses may occur that toe the line of spirit and split. You have found yourself up too high, at risk of losing your tethers and becoming unreachable. While this perspective of Earth can produce a renewed sense of appreciation and awe, what comes up must go down. Avoid crashing if possible. So maybe that resonates in a really specific way already, but we'll be getting into a couple of, possible avenues of this. So something that's immediately coming to mind for me, and I am not a medical professional. I don't claim to be. Nothing here should be your medical advice. These readings are meant to work for you. They're meant to just confirm things you know. They're meant to be a garnish. They're not to replace sound medical advice from a doctor. They're not for you to do all of your decision making based on it, but just here as like confirmation of things you maybe suspect. So take what works, leave the rest. This sort of, the description here, it reminds me a lot of being in a hypomanic episode. As someone with bipolar, I am very familiar with that feeling of like, wait, this is it. I figured it out. Like, I don't need sleep and I don't need to eat. And I've arrived and I've finally solved my whole entire life because of this like one thing I've accessed. And it's like, here we go, blast off. And I think the invitation here is like, come back down to earth and like, let's avoid crashing. You maybe are hiding from this because of the fear of that crash, that it will be brutal. And this week, I'm trying to see the dentist. I'm trying to get a title switched. I'm trying to get car insurance. Like, I've dealt with so many earthly realm things this week, and they really do. Like, who wouldn't want to blast off? Like, it's a bummer to deal with it sometimes, but it is necessary to stay in this realm, and it's necessary because it's inevitable. We have to reside here. We have to be in these meat suits. And so while our spirituality is really beautiful and can connect us to so many things, like, we are tethered to this earth. We live in this earthly realm. So join us here. Join us. You're needed. And certainly we blast off and we get our trinkets and our nuggets of wisdom. Like it said, the different perspective, but we must come back with them. But let's do it gently. Yeah, let's get this reading going to do it gently. I'm going to get out my own oracle deck that is a work in progress. I'm very proud of it. We're going to shuffle this up to see what I want to know, like why specifically you are hiding from this. So Spirit, can we get some information on why is pile 2 hiding? Why do they not want to come back down to earth, Spirit? Card, please. Why is pile 2 not want to come back down to earth? Okay, let's keep shuffling here. I'm hoping one will just fly out. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Almost. Okay, almost. We're almost there. Let's see. Okay. This is too many. Whoa, that's too many. Too many. One card, please. One card, please. I'm going to keep shuffling it. It's just a little difficult to do it on camera. Okay. Well, we've got 3, and we're just going to take those 3. Oh, and there was one here. Do we dare take 4? I had a friggin' feeling this one was going to come up. I'll explain it in a second. That's wild. Okay. Okay, so this is the plastic bag. This is I am love, love is always loving me with a pansy there. Maybe that means something to you. Just a living nightmare. And hey, there is no arrival. Okay, so this plastic bag, it means a lot of things. I made this with a couple things in mind. It's definitely that Katy Perry song. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind? Like, yeah, we all feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind sometimes. And like, you know, if we're up in the air, we've convinced ourselves like, hey, it's not so bad up here. Then it's like I don't have to come back to like reality, just a living, you know, the things that make me feel like I am in a nightmare. And what I'm here to say is nightmares can't hurt us. Like we always wake up in our own bed and we're okay. So take of that what you will. And the thank yous on this grocery bag, like, I just think it's, gratitude can be so powerful. And yet there are things that are like, why am I supposed to be grateful for this? Like, I think it was on the Poog podcast, Kate Berlant was talking about aging and like just like the way it feels like you're falling down the walls of this cave and you can see the claw marks of people before you. And she's like, I'm supposed to be grateful. Like I'm supposed to be grateful for this, like this just slow decline. And that's really a valid feeling. Like your feelings are valid. And there is a lot to be grateful for. And can we look at things like the earthly obligations? Can we borrow from AA and think of it as something that we get to do, not something that we have to do? We get to unload our dishwasher. We get to wash our clothes. We get to make ourselves food. You know? It's gosh, it's annoying sometimes, but it's like, dang, yeah, some people don't get to do this. They really don't. And it's not meant to be the like, hey, I've arrived, like what we were talking about before. Like, I've friggin' arrived, I figured it all out. You know, the sentiment of I get to do this, I don't have to do this. Like, it's not our end all be all. Life is cyclical, lessons are cyclical, but it is like part of the journey. We got to scoop up some of these lessons and take them with us. And like, because we got to keep going. There is no arrival. There is no like final form that we take and then we blast off forever. We got to come back down to earth to keep going. And sorry, you didn't, there is no X marks the spot. There is no being done growing. And speaking of growth, hello. This feels like something very specific for someone, I feel. Just, yeah, you are love. You are love. I think, I'm really good at chasing love and trying to earn it and trying to hustle for it. And maybe you are too. And we are always loved because we are love, and love is all around us. And it's just an energy we tap into and accept and receive. You don't have to be blasting off into the stratosphere like as this like fully formed human being. And you also don't have to be perfectly A+ at loving yourself. I don't know anybody who is. I don't know anybody who's not working through codependency or self-love issues. It's an our relationship with ourselves is ever changing, just like any other relationship. So it's not like we have to perfect our relationship with ourselves before we're worthy of being loved. We are always being loved. And we can always open ourselves up to receive it. It's just that we certainly do have to be in a good place with ourselves to enter healthy relationships. You know what I mean? It's not all one way or the other way. It's just a balance that we're always walking. Okay, this is feeling pretty alive. Let's get the tarot cards. all up in here, okay? So let's see. We gotta come back down to earth here. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do to get you grounded? And this little, I want to know more about that. The living nightmare guy. Oh, excuse me. Let's bring this down a little bit. I don't really know if this is centered. It's like, I've got a weird setup. I do all of this on my phone, which I'm really, really proud of. And it's a little challenging sometimes, but we're learning, and it's been a lovely growth experience. Okay, but back to business. Pile 2, Spirit. What's the like negative truth for them that needs to come through today? Oh, one card at a time, please. A lot of cards trying to hop out. Come on. Let's get a little more of a cleanse here. Get a little clarity. Get a little more clarity, please. Yeah. Trying to get grounded here. Oh, okay. Oh, got one card coming out. Okay. 5 of Cups is here. Sensing that there might be some grief happening. Which, who doesn't want to avoid grief? Let's be honest. I don't think any of this is centered. I'm so sorry. If it's bothering you. I'm glad you're here though. Thanks for bearing with me. Okay. Got another card popping out. 9 of Swords. Okay. Oh. Okay. They're coming out now. Death reversed. Whoa, okay. There were a couple that came out all at once. I would really like them to come one at a time. So much shuffling. This is the first time I've done this setup like this, so please let me know in the comments what you think. Oh, hello, we will take these 2. So we've got 7 of Swords and 4 of Pentacles reversed. Okay. Alrighty, friends. I'll draw more if it feels right. Okay, so like I said, there's maybe some grief here in the 5 of Cups reversed. I think, especially with come back down to earth and death in reverse and 7 of Swords here, I think you're really eager to turn away from these 3 cups that have spilled. And actually you're allowed to spend time with them, whatever it was. If it was like an idea of who you were, an idea of, yeah, just let yourself feel it. Like whatever it is, let yourself feel it. An idea of something that could have been like a relationship, a job, maybe there's a friendship you lost, or maybe there really is a person that's gone now, but In the reverse, it makes me think that we're just really eager to focus on these 2 cups that are still there. But you're gonna have to look at these 3 that spilled at one point or another. Come back down to earth. You're gonna look at them one way or another. It's I'm so sorry, but it's not something you can hide from. So whatever those 3 cups are, like, process that, be with that. I know it's so hard, but honestly, there's no other way. There's really no other way. The 9 of Swords is really here to ask us, like, what's working and what's not. Can you open your eyes? Can you be a good steward to your brain? Can you really be honest with yourself about the sustainability of how you're moving and how you're working and how you're thinking? Because, like, check this out. This ain't sustainable, right? And, like, climate anxiety is like a whole other, we might have to do a whole other video for that because it's so very real and it's so devastating. And then, I mean, maybe that is what, that's what all of this is about. Especially, you know, this like plastic bag here, like litter, the earth, like the grief for the earth. Like it's hard to sit with and think about because we have this one precious earth. So all of us collectively are now thinking about what will work long term. We're all having to think about what will work long term in our personal lives and globally. Because death is inevitable, death comes for us all, but nothing in nature is wasted. And you can see closely here in this illustration, those are like gems in there, which I think is kind of beautiful. But like we see this is thawing and it's about to be spring. And this deer will compost into something else for nature. Shout out to composting. If you live somewhere where you can compost, I urge you to participate in composting. I do it every week. I keep it in my freezer. I take it to the farmer's market. Like, it feels so good to do it. And you see how much compost is there and you're like, great, none of that's going to a landfill. That's awesome. So just while we're on this environmental kick, why not include that? But this death in reverse, there's something here, you know, hopping off the environmental train for a moment. There's something here that still needs to clear a little more. I think there's something that's like you gotta turn the soil of the compost. Like, don't be afraid to get in there with your shovel and like, okay, this did die. This did die. These cups, they spilled over. It's gone. It's gone. And I can't spend time hoping they'll come back or like ignoring them. You know, we kind of freak out around death. It doesn't feel natural to sit with a dead body, you know what I mean? But we have rituals in our cultures to honor death for a reason. We have rituals to sit with death for a reason. And it doesn't mean that grief is done then, but it means that we've built this ritual to have community because it is uncomfortable. It doesn't feel right to sit with death. It doesn't. We get freaked out. But what can you do to sit with it and tend it and honor it? Don't run away from it. Because it's gonna rot and die anyways. Don't run away. And it is such an earthly human thing to have a cycle end, to have something end, to have something end. Yeah, this hey, there is no arrival, pointing to our sweet Seven of Swords here. The Seven of Swords, listen, I don't think it's about being deceitful or like thievery. That's not me. That's not my vibe on this channel. That's perfectly acceptable for some people. I don't like pulling it and assuming somebody is like being sneaky in my life or that I'm being dishonest with myself. Certainly there are moments where I've been dishonest with myself, but it usually reveals itself in another way, not in the Seven of Swords. So, hey, there is no arrival. The sevens want us to think there is something outside of ourselves that we need to make us complete. And at the Seven of Swords, we're like really panicked about something we may have left behind. So maybe there's like this push-pull here of like, I want to be with these 2 cups, but I'm afraid to honor these 3 cups that fell over, because then what if I just get pulled back? What if it pulls me back? And like, all you have to do is just know that you've got enough and that you are enough. You are enough. You're enough the way you are. The traditional depiction of this card is somebody with their arms are full of 5 swords and they're looking back at the 2 they dropped on the ground. But they've got 5 swords in their hands. Like, do you need any more? Like, it's a very American capitalist thing to be like, no, I need more though. No, I need, look at that. Look at that thing that I want. Well, what do you have already? In this depiction, I think it's great. It's like, you've already got the white picket fence. And what did it cost you? Can this be enough? You're enough. Can you just like let this be enough for a second? And like really sit with yourself in that question. I think the 4 of Pentacles reverse is asking you to do that. We get to have boundaries. This is another one. Like, this is up to me about physical boundaries in our bodies, in our energy, and who has access to us. It like this frog is taking a beat on these lily pads, like protected for a moment. Like, hey, just give me some space on all 4 corners of my body. I get to do that. I get to decide when I do that, and I will leap off of these lily pads when I want to. But it's like, it's about checking in with our body and our resource, and like our resource being, you know, like our source of like safety, of energy, courage. You know, it's like, where am I at? And what do I need? Do I need to take a beat? And we can't get honest with ourselves if we're constantly like bing boom, blasting off, searching for the golden ticket, looking back over our shoulder, not honoring when we're sad, not thinking long term about anything, and just kind of like avoiding. You know, sometimes when we avoid things, they begin to become scarier than what they actually are. And so in hiding from these things, it's like making itself into this giant scary thing. And I don't think it is. I think it's just a very simple, or maybe it is, but guess what? It's not going to go away if you hide from it. It's really not. And there's a lot of like busy work happening, I see, with this 7 of Swords, of just like, no, there's got to be another way. And there isn't. Like, there, one way or another, it's gonna you're gonna be propelled somewhere, and you can choose it or you can be pushed there. An example that's just fresh in my mind, like today I was talking with a friend's mom on the phone, and she was helping me decide on some financial stuff, because I've avoided it for a long time, because financial stuff can feel really scary. And we were working through a budget, and she was like, what have you spent at the dentist? And I was like, oh, I haven't been because I'm scared of what I will spend. And she was like, oh, pay to get that cleaning now so that you don't have to get pay for a filling later. And I and I said, well, that's just it. I'm afraid I will have to pay for a filling, so I've been avoiding it. And she said, okay. A whole entire crown or a dental implant is gonna be more than a filling. Like, it will just accrue the more you hide from it, whatever it is. That's the point of this whole reading for everyone. The more we hide from it, like, it doesn't go away. And so I want to know what can synthesize all of this for us. I'm going to pull out these the self-love oracle to get us a little mantra to make your sigil for your candle. So let's put this up here. Let's put these here. Let's try to make it, we're gonna make it fun, don't worry. A lot of, I won't lie, like, these are like heavy energy / scary cards, but I'm here to tell you, like, they all bring medicine. Like, and it might not feel great or taste great, but like, it's all here for you. It's not here to get you, I promise. So let's get a self-love oracle card, though. This I think will help us get a synthesis on this. And you know, it is going to be different for everybody, so something universal, something cohesive. Spirit, how can we support pile 2? How can we support pile 2 in these earthly matters? How can we support pile 2 in these earthly matters? How can we support pile 2? Oh, okay, we got 2. We got 2 in the first group too. Oh, okay. Hey, okay. We've got look deeper. There is more beneath the surface. Remain cool and centered. Take the time to look at the deeper underlying currents and follow your intuition. And guess what? We've got conquer fear. Most fear is based on illusion, lies that we tell ourselves to avoid change. Release your need for complete control or perfection. Just do your best. Ooh, just do your best. Just do your best. It's not all, you know, when you come back down to earth, it's not all going to get solved in one day. Let's read in the book for these, because sometimes they've got little good nuggets in there. So the description, look deeper. This card indicates a need to go beneath the surface. An easy answer is not going to be adequate here. Take the time to wait for further information to reveal itself. You may need to ask deeper questions. Yeah, you may need to ask deeper questions. 5 of Cups there. Or you may need to approach the situation from another angle in order to expose some blind spots. Detach yourself from your first impressions and be open to new information. Okay, and we've got conquer fear. Fear is useful when alerting us to physical threats, but if we feel fear in the presence of people or situations that are not necessarily life-threatening, we may need to examine our fear and understand where it comes from. Fear can be described as false evidence appearing real. Fear can come from a false belief that failure is certain, or that we are unable to face the consequences of an action that we actually need to take. Fear may also come from a bad past experience. Fear closes doors and can force us to make unconscious and destructive decisions rather than letting us choose from a position of strength. Fear can also be wielded quite cleverly by people who are trying to manipulate us for their own self-gain. We owe it to ourselves to take back our power and examine our fears. If we do so while in an emotionally safe space, We may find that many fears are actually false ideas of possible bruises to our ego, or just exaggerated ideas of what could go wrong, but usually does not. We may believe logical reasoning that is actually faulty or based on false premises, or we are just afraid of admitting our past naivety. We sometimes become our own worst enemies by heaping unrealistic expectations upon ourselves and then being afraid that we can't achieve them. We can choose to confront and eliminate our irrational fears. We can choose to take the stance that our egos can heal from whatever is thrown at us. We can choose to believe within reason that things may actually go right, and if they don't, that we can have other plans in place. The world will not end. There is truly nothing to worry about. Conquer your fears by examining them up close and make peace with them. It may be a lifelong process, but worth it when we are no longer controlled by fear. So listen, I don't have answers for climate change, right? But we can talk here just about this, about what we've got today. So the mantra I think we can make for you. Let's think. Because I like this conquering fear because there's a lot of heavy fear, grief, anxiety cards happening here. But we're always gonna have love. That's the universal truth. We're always gonna have love. And if we just, the more we don't look at it, we can't keep hiding. It gets worse. We have to take the deeper look so we don't keep getting more afraid. And I think looking deeper is how we conquer the fear. So I want our mantra to be, I can handle anything. I can handle anything. I think I want that to be your mantra. Okay, so I'm writing that down. And I'm going to show you how to make a sigil. And then we're going to carve that sigil on the candle. Okay, so here we've got, I can handle anything. What we're going to do is we're going to cross out the vowels. Okay, and so then we're going to write down the remaining consonants, right? But we're not going to repeat any letters. So we've got C, N, H, D, L. We've already got an N. Y, T, N, G. Okay, this is a lot of letters. Okay, I'm going to let my subconscious play here and try to give us a good sigil. So that's kind of frunky, but we'll take it. It's going to be hard to carve on the candle, but and it looks, a little bit phallic, so maybe I'll carve it this way. Or, it's not bad that it looks phallic, but I actually, I don't know, whatever. Okay, so let's get our candle. Okay. This is gonna be hard to carve, but let's do our best. So you're just gonna get a little pin or something sharp. And let's do this. Okay, that one took a while. That really put me in a trance. You can't see it very well, but it's there. It is there, and it means I can handle anything. You can handle anything, pile 2, okay? You really can. And I know it really can feel like a nightmare, right? And we're just drifting through the wind. There's a lot of difficult energy here, so give yourself some credit for what you're going through, okay? Give yourself some credit for like grieving and going through whatever it is you're going through right now, but we'll all be here when you come back down, and we'll be so excited that you're back, okay? All right, I'm going to be burning this for you, and once it's burned, the sigil is activated. And I hope you can feel that you can tap into the power of being able to face anything. You can handle it. You really can. I am sending you so much love. Goodbye. Hello, group 3. If you're here, it's because you chose this pink candle. Look at this like 90s dream here with like the baby pink and the cloud print. Just want to appreciate that for a second. Okay, let's just jump right in. I thought there was something I was going to say, but I don't think there is. We're using postcards from the liminal space today to see what we are hiding from. Just gonna take that off. I put a little sneaky piece of tack on there to keep it from rolling away. And we'll come back to this candle to carve our sigil later. We'll get into that. But in the meantime, let's unpack this. What are you hiding from? Protect your ecosystem. Okay, friend. Let's read from we're going to read from the guidebook. So, okay. Protect your ecosystem. Your internal environment will dictate every facet of your external existence. Inhabiting a safe ecosystem is the highest evolutionary and spiritual wish. Heaven is a perfect ecosystem, but even the healthiest habitats rely on the life cycle of birth, death, and decay. Pay attention to the seasons, flight patterns, slight changes in weather, the way we are soft, natural material more impacted by the moon and the stars than we dare believe. Do not underestimate your tenderness or be ashamed of your need for love, and set boundaries to keep yourself safe. You deserve that. Ooh, okay, that's a lot. That's a lot there. Okay, that's a lot there. Do not underestimate your tenderness or be ashamed of your need for love, and set boundaries to keep yourself safe. You deserve that. Oh, baby babes. Oh, pile 3. Okay, let's do this. We're going to do this together, all right? I'm going to use my oracle deck that I'm currently making. It's in progress. I'm really proud of it though so far. And we are going to look at sort of like why you're hiding from this. And there's so much here, you know, it's a general reading. There's so many different ways this could go, and this is a general reading. So we're going to try to get universal and specific. And I want you to just take what works for you and leave the rest. You know what will work for you. You know what resonates for you. Don't force something to seem like a good idea. And certainly, you know, you are your own best decision maker. Don't let me make any decisions for you here. I'm just a lady on YouTube making videos on the floor of her apartment in her underwear, and hoping that this can relieve a little suffering in the world somewhere. Okay, so I've got my oracle deck here. I want to know why. Can we get a little clarity, spirit? hiding? Why don't they want to protect their ecosystem? Okay, 2 jumped out, and we can always draw more if we want. Okay. Oh, we got this one in the last pile. I am love, and love is always loving me. Let's go ahead and move all this up because we're going to draw some more cards. And is it even yours though? I'm going to rip off right on this one first. Okay. Is it even yours though? And we're talking about boundaries and what we're going to allow to grow in our ecosystem. And if we're thinking of our life as like a garden and what we're watering, what are we allowing into our garden? Because I'm here to forbid you from allowing poison into your garden anymore. I don't know who that's for. I just feel compelled to say that. So any literal baggage that someone is trying to thrust on you, try to make you feel like it's your responsibility, is that yours? Is that yours to deal with? It's a tough thing when, you know, it really kind of echoes codependent habits. You know, we want to take care of other people. We feel safe if we can, like, we feel like our ecosystem is safe if we can tend to somebody else's ecosystem. But it's an entire ecosystem. They've got their own storms and hurricanes, and you've got your own things going on here. It makes no sense that you'd be able to manage that one and this one. So you can never really manage anybody else's baggage. You really can't. Is it even yours though? It's not. It's not. So whatever it is, drop it, drop it, drop it. You got to protect your heart because you are love. You are love. And so we are deserving of love. What did it say? Do not underestimate your tenderness or be ashamed of your need for love, and set boundaries to keep yourself safe. You deserve that. You deserve to set boundaries in your ecosystem. You deserve to set boundaries. No, I'm sorry, you can't bring that in here. That's not mine. That's not mine. Don't bring that in here. I was just talking today on Instagram about how when I was younger, my mom told me I could get a nose job someday. Just matter of factly, when I was like 11, she just said, you could get your nose shortened someday. Yeah. Because I was feeling insecure about the way I looked, and she said that. And years I have spent hours in front of the mirror pinching my nose and prodding it and imagining. And what a waste of energy, because that wasn't even mine. That wasn't even my idea. That was her idea that she put onto me, because she's human. She's also human, and she also gets to make mistakes and fuck up. But the important thing that we do is that we parse it out. We make the boundary. The boundary is because we love the other person too. It's how we love ourselves and the other person. And we say, hey, actually, you can't say things like that to me anymore. You can't talk to me about that. No. Sorry. That's not allowed in my ecosystem. That's not allowed in my garden. I want one more from my... Whoop! And it popped right out. What is it? Is it dying or is it thriving? Sorry, I said that reversed. Is it thriving or is it dying? So maybe we're not tending to this ecosystem because we know something. We don't want to answer this question. It seems like it seems like when we're ready to give up on something, and by give up, I mean like give it away. Like closing the door on something doesn't mean we no longer have access to it. It means we're not waiting for something to come through it anymore. We're not holding our breath waiting for something to come through for us. And so in that decision, it's like, it's such a split. It's like, but what if it could be great? But what if it's already dead? But what if it could be great? But what if it's already dead? And whatever in your ecosystem, like it says, there's a natural, what is it? Heaven is a perfect ecosystem, but even the healthiest habitats rely on the life cycle of birth, death, and decay. Pay attention to the seasons, flight patterns, slight changes in weather, the way we are soft, natural material more impacted by the moon and the stars than we dare to believe. So is it, you gotta get in there and answer, is it dying or is it thriving? Is it thriving or is it dying? I don't know. Only you know that. Only you know what needs more water, needs more care, and only you know what needs to be uprooted and cast out. Only you know what the poison looks like, and it can't come in because it's gonna like rot something. What's it gonna take for it to thrive in there? You know, we can like really also work ourselves up, I think, into feeling like we're thriving, but actually we're like hanging by a thread. And we want it to seem like our ecosystem is doing really well, but is it? Can you be more interested in being than seeming? I wonder. If it isn't thriving, let it die. If there's an act that's happening that's exhausting, let it die. You can thrive without a performance. You know, thriving isn't a performance. Thriving is just how we live in our life. Thriving is just resting in the fact that we are love, and love is all around us, and it's just something we have to tap into. Oh, my goo-goo, sweet pile 3. Okay, this was calling to me from my Oracle deck, and I just want to share it to you. I am brilliant, I am confident, I am soft, I am lovable. That's just for whoever needs it out there. I am brilliant, I am confident, I am soft, I am lovable. You're so lovable. You're so lovable. You are love. Love is always loving you. You're brilliant. You're lovable. You're so soft. You're allowed to be soft in your ecosystem. There's softness in the ecosystem. We can embrace and not hide from that, you know? I just love that passage. We are soft, natural material more impacted by the moon and the stars than we dare believe. So we are soft. We are soft. Let's get our tarot cards going. This is the Way Home Tarot. We're just gonna get a little more into this, what we're hiding from, etc., etc. Sorry, I'm cleansing these cards a little bit. I just wanted to do that real quick. And I'm gonna take a big drink of water. And this is your sign to also drink a little bit of water. Okay. Oops, got a little ashes on there. That's fine. Okay. I'm so sorry if this isn't centered. I've said it in the other piles. I hope I'm not repeating myself. I'm filming on my phone, which I'm very proud that I do all of this on my phone. But the way that the camera is held, it's all a little hard to see. So thanks for bearing with me. I'm really glad you're here. Okay. Whoa, hot out of the gate. Okay. This one I barely shuffled and the suspended one jumped out, reversed. Okay. Oh, okay. We've got more that are just like flying out of here. Do we take them? I guess we do. High Priestess reversed. 8 of Wands. Chariot reversed. It's all coming together here. It's all coming together here. Whoa. Father of Cups. Okay, let's get one more. This is alive. This ecosystem is alive. They're flying out. I usually try to get them one at a time, And these two came out one at a time, but the fact that these three were like, here we are, I couldn't ignore it. Okay, let's get one more card for how. Okay, well, 3 just flew out. What? That's too many. I'm sorry, it's too many. Let's just get the 1. We just want 1. We just want 1. Can we just... Oh, thank you, Spirit. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. 4 of Wands. Beautiful. Okay. Let's put... See, I wanted all those cards, and now it's like, where are we going to put them? It's just really hard to see with the way this little clamp is on. Here we go. Gonna put those there. Okay, so then we're gonna put in boom, boom. Okay, I took a lot of time with that, but we know it's all gonna get messed up again. So, okay. Oh, I'm sitting on the ground. Let me get my legs unfolded. It's just, someday I'll share with you like a behind the scenes video. Woo! I've got like a little sandbag on my tripod. It's fun. Okay, you know what? Also, let's get our little, I've got some carnelian and some garnet here. So I'm just gonna keep those buddies here for us to support us. And I've got a few others here that are supporting us as well. Okay, so I see a little bit of like fear here in the Chariot reversed. You know, our Chariot being whatever vehicle got us to the success where we're at. It looks really good, right? Like, it looks really good. It got us to where we are, but that doesn't mean it's going to get us everywhere we want to go. And so, like, we've got to get out of the Chariot. We've got to step out of the car. Oof, pop in my neck. Excuse me. Yeah, don't fight your tenderness. I want to say, don't fight your tenderness. Don't fight that. You are soft. And it's not even, like, I'm not even going to say, like, the world needs more softness. That's like, you know, we're allowed to just exist in our softness, but it's like you just actually can't fight softness. You can't fight being a soft person. You need to be soft for the sake of you. And like, there's a way to be a container for it. We'll get to that. But if you, like, if you fight it, you're going to fight it. And you're going to stay in it. And you're going to stay there. And you're never going to want to come out. Because, I mean, think about it. There's like actual goo in here right now. This is like a chrysalis. And you know, it's the most used analogy for transformation, but it's because it's truly a miracle. The caterpillar becomes goo before they come out as a butterfly. And even when they come out, it's like crumply dumply wings. They've got to drink some water. Like, hello, let's all drink a little more water. I'm gonna grab a sip again. I say that because, like, they drink water so that their wings straighten out. I don't know if you knew that. That's a little bit of science. Anyways, it's like, it's just no good use of your energy to fight the softness. It's just really not. speaking of making boundaries, I think when the suspended one comes up sometimes, it's like, it's ruled by Pisces, and you know, Piscean energy often needs a lot of boundaries around it. It's mutable water. It's like the wateriest water. And so sometimes when you make a boundary, it's like you've got to hang out in the discomfort. And like, look at this. This is literally a boundary here around this creature. Sometimes when you make the boundary, you have to stick it out in the discomfort. You gotta hang out in the like, okay, I've made my boundary and I don't know how that person is gonna respond to it. Or sometimes it's like we make the boundary and we sit back and we watch that person hang out in the discomfort of it. And that's theirs to deal with. That's theirs. Let them be uncomfortable in the boundary you make. It's for your sake. It's for your sake. We're going to get to this Father of Cups energy, but like, you got to have a container. You've got to have an inner container so that you're not relying on an outside container. The chair, you know, the original picture, like original being the Rider Smith Waite illustration, it is a figure in a chariot. And it's like, we can't rely on that. That doesn't last. Some people do rely on it their whole lives. They never get out of their chariot. And what a sad life that is. I say it every time this card comes up because it's the most profoundly sad thing to me that somebody would never take a chance on being soft in the world, on being goo and getting out and being like, listen, this isn't going to look as finessed as like this life was that I got, that I built up, but I'm willing to look new. I'm willing to be brand new here. I'm willing to go and learn, because life is learning and life is growing. And I have a structure within myself. I have boundaries. I have my ecosystem. I know where to water my garden. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay getting out of there. And so, like, can you trust that is? Can you trust that there are forces at work that you can't see everything happening behind the scenes? Can you lean into those? Can you lean into the cycles of nature? Can you lean into just like, it's out of my hands, and just rest in a deeper knowing or a deeper not knowing? It's not all revealed right now, and that's okay. You don't need it all to be revealed right now, because in the meantime, I'm here to say, let yourself have some friggin' fun, okay? Like, fun is the point. Joy is the point. Go out dancing. Gather your friends. Gather somewhere with people you don't know. But joy is the point. And it's like, don't like wait to be invited to a celebration. You are the celebration. Every day is a special occasion. Get alive in the miracle of being here, of having an ecosystem. It can be thriving. It can be thriving. Just embrace it. Embrace it and go dance in the rain. That sounds very trite, but just celebrate something, you know? Celebrate something. Because if you can tap into that joy, even with these like mysterious, gooey things, if you can tap into that joy, that's how we become a strong vessel for ourselves. That's where all of these pieces come together, where we've made our boundaries. We know we're loved. We are brilliant, confident, soft, lovable. We know what to let go of and what to take more care of. It all culminates here in the Father of Cups, because this is an energy that like can handle it. This is an energy that like is like driving the ambulance to the hospital. You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot going on in here. There is a whole ecosystem in here. Look at this. Look. There is a whole ecosystem in here, and this figure is the vessel. This figure is the container for it. We can see that there's like, you know, it's clever. It's a clever illustration. Like, all of that softness, all of that goo, it's in here, and it's in you. And you are strong enough to be the vessel for it. You know what I mean? You know, it's like Father of Cups energy. I feel like it is. It's like basically everything we just covered here, and I want to say more about it. But sometimes it's like these, I feel like these cards speak for themselves, but I just want to make sure it's like being translated. Let me just tune in for a second. I'm gonna hold this. There's a little noise in the kitchen. That's what you're hearing right now. That's on my end, not on your end. Anything else they need to know about Father of Cups? Just a lot of love. I think it's also that, I think it's all for the sake of love, so that love can flow through, especially at this Four of Wands. That's gonna unlock the joy of this whole cycle, and like the lightheartedness of like, yeah, I set that boundary, okay, and that's peace. That's what I got for you. And like, it's not so scary when we're out of our chariot and we look like we don't know what we're doing. We're like, okay, that's okay. I've got me. I've got me. I know what I am. I know I am loved. I know what is not mine to deal with. And when somebody is putting something else on me, I know my truth. It's all so it can like flow together, and ultimately so that love can flow through, because like we're a vessel, right? But we give it back out. An ecosystem thrives on a cycle of going back out, and that's how love thrives too. I think it's not ours to hold on to. It's to be shared. It's to be received. So when others are sharing love into your ecosystem, are you receiving it? Are you packing it up in a bag to send away? Are you distrustful of it? Receive. And it's like love is meant to be received. And if you feel like there's no one to receive your love right now, put it right back into your ecosystem, okay? So tender. This feels so tender. Let's get this all. I'm going to now get into this sigil, baby. I don't know what is centered and what is not. Hopefully that looks nice. I won't know until I watch it all back. Oh, no. I wonder how long it's been off-centered. Okay. Thanks for being here. Okay. So, we're going to put that up there. That's some carnelian for protecting you. Okay, so what can help protect your ecosystem? I think it is, you need a lot of love for yourself right now, protecting your ecosystem, making your boundaries. Excuse me. One card, please, Spirit. How can Group 1 protect their ecosystem? No, one card, please, Spirit. How can group 1, or excuse me, how can group 3 protect their ecosystem? You are safe. This came out in another pile as well. You are safe. So let's read about it. There's some more kitchen noise happening, just so you know. It's just on my end. Okay, you are safe. We can see our life in a new way. There's no need to fear the macabre, the morbid, or the unknown. Fear arises when we're afraid of losing something to which we're attached. We often forget that we came into this world with, well, nothing but our skeleton, spirit, and meat suit. All these were gifted to us. So are you hiding from your ecosystem because you don't want to get too attached to it because it could be lost, potentially? The physical body and its capacity for pain will continue to teach us much about self-care and the sensations of our physical existence. That is why our body is a gift. Ooh, yeah, this is talking about the softness again of our bodies, just like in our other guidebook. It is natural to be attached to it and to be identified with our body, but it is also useful to remember that we are never given any challenges that we cannot handle. We can also choose to remember to visualize or invoke energetic protection. If you are feeling insecure about your physical or emotional safety, visualize a protective energy bubble around you, or that you're being protected by your spirit guides, guardian angels, or other protective beings. Alternatively, you can ask or simply visualize that you are invisible to those who would do you harm. After your visualization or request, have faith that you are protected. Decide that you are worthy of protection and living in safety, and let your energy and actions flow naturally from there. This is tricky, right? Because, even as I read that, I mean, the world we live in, there are people who don't feel safe walking down the street, and they have a reason not to. So not all communities are protected in the same way, and I think it's important to address that. And I think sorry, the kitchen is so loud right now. I'm so sorry. I think as a spiritual community, it's important to note that and to not rely so blithely on a there's a place where our spirituality can meet with practicality. And I want to pull one more card for you, because it's not so simple as you are safe. And I'm all for, like, if I'm in public and I feel like someone's energy coming towards me that I don't want, I do imagine like myself just wrapped in a black velvet cloak, and it's very helpful just even to calm my nervous system in that moment, and I do feel protected. But let's get you, for this sigil that we're going to make, we want one more card, please, Spirit. Oh my gosh, one card, please. We want one more for how to protect their ecosystem. For all beings, all sentient beings watching pile 3. Oh, okay. Okay. We've got love all. Your compassion is incomplete until it includes yourself. Release self-judgment, self-punishment, and self-sabotage. Include yourself when you love. So let's read in the book for that. That's number 43. If that's significant to you all. Okay. Strap in. This is a long one. Okay. I'm putting it there so the glare isn't on it. Whenever we look at a part of ourselves or someone else and say, this does not deserve love, we unwittingly place a barrier on our own hearts. We may not have been taught by others that we may have been taught by others that sensitivity is for the weak, that compassion is for the naive, and that love is only for the beautiful and deserving. Ooh, this is hidden. Okay. Most of us will have inherited our parents' and authority figures' judgments of us. Wow. These judgments may have persisted as barriers to loving ourselves as we became adults. The walls we put up inside ourselves usually don't just stay there, but become the walls we put up around ourselves and the others around us. Believing that we are flawed and unlovable, we actually affect our relationships because we're busy hiding our objects of shame from others, distancing ourselves from them, and putting up false fronts. I'm gonna cry. The time has come for us to learn to love it all. Authenticity becomes important to us once self-love teaches us to accept ourselves together with all our imperfections. Doing so, loving others and their imperfections becomes easier too. Compassion becomes natural when we understand that everyone has been damaged in some way by false beliefs and fear. Our compassion is complete when it includes everyone and ourselves. Carrying this compassion, we will fight ourselves less, love ourselves more, and become capable of more. Oh, I hope that felt as good to hear as it did for me. That was, yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, so, and I mean, I think it's everything we covered. That's really beautiful. Okay, so let's get our sigil going. What we're gonna do, I'll explain as we go. So let me just think for a second on a mantra for this loving experience for you. I'm hearing, I get to be human too. I get to be human too. You know, no one is perfect, including ourselves. And so I get to be human too. And this one's really jumping out to me, that it's, you know, when others try to thrust their baggage onto us, they're human, and so are we. And we get to take care of our ecosystem. We get to celebrate too. We're always invited to the party. We get to look like beginners and learn something new. I get to be human too. Okay, so I'm gonna write this down for us. Okay, my friends, so what you do when you make a sigil is we're gonna take this sentence, we're gonna cross out all the vowels. And then we're gonna take the consonants, but we're not gonna take any repeating letters. So we're gonna take this G, the T, but not this T. We've got a B, an H, an M, and an N. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna let my subconscious kind of like doodle bug, and I'll be back with a sigil. Okay, here we go. You know, if you want to make one of these on your own, if you have another mantra, don't think too much about it and just get creative. So this is your sigil. It looks kind of it looks kind of like a rooster or a chicken, which I think is utterly delightful and very silly and fun, and in the spirit of fun and joy and love that we have here. So this is your sigil for I get to be human too. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take your candle and we're gonna take a little sharp object. This is just a straight pin. And we are going to carve this here we go. Woo! Woo! Okay, so there it is. It's like, it's kind of hard to see. Certainly very hard to see. But know that it's there, and it means I get to be human too. I get to be human too, and you're so loved. And love is always loving you. Okay? I'm confident, I am soft, I am lovable, I am brilliant. Write that next to your bed if you need to. Like, tape it on the wall next to your bed and wake up to it. Say it to yourself in the morning. Okay, my lovely, lovely pile 3. I'm sending you a lot of love. You are so loved, I can tell. And I will be burning this for you. And so just know that the magic is out there for you to access whenever you need to call upon it. So be it, and so it is. I love you. Bye-bye.